Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. Pardon me for being a little bit late. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. It's just a lot going on. Very, very busy. So I apologize for that. Anyway, I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always try to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you to my wonderful moderators for all that you do in holding down the comment section. Today, we're going to be talking about Blacks are accused of being too weak to stick to an economic boycott. Of course, you guys know that we had an economic, it was supposed to be a Black Friday blackout, to where consumers from all walks of life, which is how I'm kind of confused how Black people got saddled with the blame, I guess. I don't know. But people were supposed to be boycotting major retailers like that of Target, Amazon, Walmart, and Apple, whoever, just to name a few. Now, of course, there are mixed reviews as to whether it was successful or not. Many experts are saying it was not successful, although, you have some people saying, well, I drove by a parking lot and it was empty. From what they say, numbers don't lie. So we'll get into all of that in just a few. Of course, we won't be here that long tonight because Donovan has to go put on his Batman cape to go save the day once again. So, Donovan, what say you?
Yes, welcome back to the show, you guys, or the program. Show, it's a program. I'm glad you guys have you guys here. Do us a favor. If you guys want to continue to have these great conversations, there's ways you can donate. And content creator motivated, you can do it by Cash, PayPal, Venmo, and all the other great stuff that goes with it. Also, download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store, where you get great videos not only from Demetra K, Wongel, and other hosts of producers that contribute to the app. Original content, and right now Phil Scott has locked it into the price that it is. He's not going to raise the prices because he knows economically that is suicide to do such thing when your base people is what your demographic you're trying to get and keep them $3 make a difference to some people, and how they do it. So African Diaspora News Channel app, you can get it on Google Play, Apple Store. Follow-on conversation. I think it's an conversation because everybody wants to pile on.
Donovan, 1 second. Can you guys hear Donovan fine, or is he glitching on your end as well? I just want to be sure that you guys can hear him.
Right. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get into the conversation.
All right. Yeah, so I'm just waiting to see what happens. So let's see who we have on here. Affectionate Earth, how you doing? The Jessica Dyer, what's going on? Kevin, what's going on with you? Sister Shirley, Brother Don, my triple OG moderator, hope you're doing well. Brother JJ Mars, what's going on? King Noble, Tanya, what is up with you? Troy, hope you're having a great day. You can't handle the truth. What's going on with you? Mike Nice, how are you today? Freddie in the building. DSB, thank you so much for becoming a member. Love and appreciate you for that. And of course, I'll go back and read you guys' comments in just a few. Just want to acknowledge everybody. TT, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sister Sunlight, Don Star, hope that you are well. And I see so many of you guys are pouring in. So I will get to why we're here for the sake of time, of course. So anyway, of course, you guys know that Black Friday happened last week, the day after Thanksgiving, as it always does, right? So anyway, there was supposed to be this big blackout economic boycott due to a lot of things that's going on in the country regarding the Trump administration, getting rid of DEI and things like that. Of course, you guys know that it started with Target. They were being boycotted due to rolling back their DEI things. And so I guess somehow Black people in America, I don't say specifically Black Americans, because I don't know if it's just a Black American thing, but decided that Target would be the target. And of course, a lot of other people jumped on it, but then you have people like your Pastor Jamal Bryant, your Al Sharptons, your Tamika Mowrys, and those people pretty much, taking a helm of boycotting Target. And so again, this particular Black Friday, people weren't supposed to be shopping at major corporations. I just listed them again: Target, Walmart, and Amazon, just to name a few. But of course, it says that, in fact, there were record online sales to the tune of almost $12 billion, breaking records. In fact, that was just Friday. It's not Saturday and Sunday. So as I said yesterday, it was a fail A lot of people did not like that, but I'm like, if you're looking at the numbers, I don't know if they say numbers don't lie, but then again, I don't know, maybe they do. But from what I saw, that it was not a success. Now, there's a lot of people saying, oh, yes, it was. Don't believe numbers. Oh, da, 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 da. And I don't know if we'll ever really know the truth. But to me, a success is when you can tell demonstratively that it did not work, right? Like, you can't just say, because it'd be different if we didn't live in a day and age of online, right? Where people do Donovan, how much shopping do you do online versus going into the store, if you don't mind me asking?
A third of me is shopping. Yeah, a third.
So a third. So that's a pretty good amount, right? So if we didn't live in a day of online shopping, then you could probably say, okay, well, I didn't see very many people at the store. That probably means that there weren't people shopping or whatever the case is. But that wasn't the case. Many people shopped online. So I don't know. The boycott is still going from the 25th of November to the 2nd, which is tomorrow of December. So things may, turn around and be a little bit more differently, especially now that people know that people really didn't abstain from shopping like they said they would do. Of course, the premise is to send a message to corporate America so that they will send one, I guess, to the Trump administration. Hey, we don't like what you're doing as far as DEI, immigration things, and, Black women losing jobs, just a whole host of other things that's going on. Now, I'm going to show y'all a video of a sister who, I guess she had been talking about this boycott for a while, and somebody got in her comment section and pretty much said that Blacks are too weak to participate in the boycott or to keep it going nevertheless. So I'm going to show you this video, then I'm going to show y'all another one.
Apparently, Black people are too weak to uphold the economic blackout. That's what somebody said on the video that I made a couple weeks ago about us doing the blackout and only shopping small local business and Black-owned business. Now, first thing I want to say is this is one of the many reasons why it is difficult for Black people to come together, because you have two varying degrees and spectrums of hope and community and togetherness. You have one side that says we can never come together and do it because we have crabs in the barrel mentality. Then we have one side of the spectrum where we believe that we can do it collectively instead of just individually, right? And this is because we have seen throughout historical movements created and upheld by Black people, such as the Civil Rights Movement, such as the Black Panthers and the Malcolm X's movement, right? And how when we come together collectively, we oftentimes get the change that we want. And we've seen it recently with the Target and us not shopping in Target no more. I don't know about y'all, but the Target around my way, it ain't booked and busy like it used to be at all. This is heartbreaking to me that somebody would make said statement about us. And I don't know where this person is from, if they are Black American and or they are in another country such as Africa, somewhere in Africa. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna fold. I think we're gonna do just fine. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me.
Okay, so that particular sister is taking exception to people saying that blacks are too weak, basically, and that we're gonna fold. Now, she actually did this I think it's a couple days ago, last week or something like that. So the question is, did Blacks fold, right? Black people, because we don't know, like she said, Black Americans, Black and somewhere else. Did we fold? I don't know. I don't even know if it's necessarily a thing of us as Black people. Did we fold? Because I thought this was like an all type of everybody was supposed to be doing this boycott or whatever the case is. But I want to also show you a video. Now, Target, of course, they are in battle. They lost billions of dollars due to being targeted for a boycott. They've been boycotted for months now. And so what they did was they offered a swag bag. I guess it had different products or whatever in there, and you get it for free, right? So you line up, and there's a copious amount of videos online where you can see people lined up before they open to get these swag bags. And I'm going to show y'all a video of a sister talking about her swag bag.
Thing that Target had in their Black Friday swag bag, starting with the bag itself. It also had this iridescent piece of fabric. Then it had this glittery greeting card, and the cutest thing in the bag had to be this purple metallic-y mini shopping bag. It also came with a deck of Uno cards, a pack of Gems touchable shampoo, and also this e.l.f. lip oil, which is super cute. But y'all, tell me why I got to the bottom of my bag and I actually won a prize. Like, the way I crashed out in this store is high-key embarrassing, but baby, I have no care in the world because I did not just win any prize. I got the Ninja slushie, and baby, it was definitely worth the waiting outside in the cold. And I was so excited, I had to call my mom and tell her that I just won the #1 giveaway. But here's the other stuff that came in the bag. Nobody cares.
Okay, so with that, you see your sister, she, went for the swag bag, and there was a lot of people, admittedly. I saw a lot of Black folks talking about the swag bags, especially on TikTok and things like that, and I saw other people as well. But then when I think about that, it's like Target knows what to do. We just lure people back up in here, right? So I don't know if that's an indication that blacks folded or whatever the case is. But if this boycott was from all people from all walks of life, I wouldn't necessarily put that on the backs of black people. But then the other thing is, why is it that black folks are expected to, again, set the example, right? Do the marching and the protesting and the boycotting and things like that. But, you know, I think there's several things going on here. Let's keep it a buck. It wasn't successful. Okay. I know some people are, and I'm gonna get into the comments, are hoping and wishing that it was. I wish it was successful too. Like I said, I'm not new to this. I've been talking about boycotting corporations for a very long time. But to her point, do we have a problem? As far as blacks here in America, she says there's a collective portion of the people who would boycott and stick together. And she cited the civil rights movement and Malcolm X times, is what she said. Then you have the crabs in the barrel that says we can't do it. So let's have a conversation about that. Donovan, what is your opinion on what you just saw?
Well, you know, again, am I still glitching, by the way? Let us know in the comments, you guys.
So
when it comes to
we hear you.
Yeah. Well, that's the important thing, as long as you can hear me. But I know a lot of people look at it. So with this swag bag stuff, I saw some videos of young people, especially the LGBTQ community, upset because the swag bag wasn't what all that they thought it was. But it goes to show you and tell you what people are willing to throw away in order to gain a gift or an item or this or that, you know. But yet they want us to do all the heavy lifting, but look how quickly they can stop protesting to get something that's going to be put into their pockets or in their hands. So I'm not surprised of the grift that Target did to bring people in. Not everybody got a gift. In certain areas of the United States where they did that, all they got was the swag bag that was valued at probably less than $20. So that's at certain areas. But all in all, with everything that is going on, I'm not surprised that they are blaming black people. And, you know, when things don't go a certain way, you just blame a black person. Again, let's go back to the last election. Whose fault was it that Kamala Harris lost? They blamed black men and women, even though we voted in the 90 percentile. In black men were in the 80 percentile, 11% behind black women, but yet a lot of Latinos voted for Trump. A lot of Asians voted for Trump, but nobody holds them to task, much less the white people voted for Trump. But they always want to blame the black folks when things don't go their way. So I'm not surprised at all. And, you know, this is the lot that we live in, and this is the burden that we carry. We are always going to be blamed.
Yeah, you cut out toward the end. We heard most of what you said, but yeah, you kind of cut out to know what's going on with your end of the bargain there. Just probably a glitch somewhere. I don't know. Sorry about that, y'all. And, so Lauren, and DSB, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. Lauren says more than 20 million American health insurance premiums are going to skyrocket in these next few months. It will be hard to trick them into believing it's the Democrats' fault and not Trump's. I don't know. Let's see. Tanya says, I live in Southern Maryland and black folks pack the stores out here over the weekend. Yeah. And like I said, I know maybe some people think I'm trying to be dismissive of the boycott, like, it didn't work. Like I said, I wish that it would work, you know, because I think that's the fastest way to send a message to the powers that be, right? Is to let them know we're not going to spend our money with you because you are not making life conducive for, you know, everyday people, whatever the case is. But, not just black people, but as people, just creatures of habit, right? The swag bag. Target was like, we'll get them in here, right? And lined up before the store open and all that for swag bags, which they didn't even really know what was in the bags, but they lured them in with, you're going to get something for free. But of course, you know, you go on to Target, you're going to spend some money, right? So yeah. Sister Shirley says, those particular people make my stomach hurt. Damn. Sister Marcella, how you doing? Says they never give you the real results until January. That is true. And if they ever give them to you at all, right? But preliminarily speaking, yeah, on Friday, it says that online went through the roof. But I just think that's probably too, because most people their method of shopping is online now. You know, you need something right now, you're gonna go open your phone or your computer and order something, even food, right? Donovan, you was gonna say something?
No, but when it comes to like shopping, that's a woman's big go-to thing. So you mean to tell me you could actually sit at home, press a button on your phone, and it'll be delivered at your door? Come on, that's what a lot of people are doing now, and we've been, trained, or how do you say it, trained or conditioned to go with what technology is bringing us now. So now you don't have to get up and go to the mall and basically get out there. Somebody bring it to you.
Yeah. Hi, Al. How you doing? It says, why would Black people boycott Target when they hardly go there anyway? Well, I'm here in Houston. I see a whole bunch of Black people in Target, including the employees. So the Black people go to Target. I know it's this kind of Walmart, Target kind of, juxtaposition conversation. Or Black people like Walmart more. Then, of course, you have some that say, oh, Walmart is ghetto and all this other stuff. Listen, I'm going to go where the bargain is, right? And Walmart doesn't always have the things that Target has and things like that. So for me, I don't discriminate or whatever the case is. But, yeah, there's Black people in Target. And Jessica says, what folks don't realize or want to accept is that the powers that be and the people that run these corporations don't give a damn about boycotts. They will close the stores and keep it moving. Yep. And they're already trying to figure out a way how to minimize their overhead as far as with AI and things like that. And so you get rid of the employee or whatever. So they'll figure out a way, right? I mean, we're to the point to where they make it to where you have to, in a sense, go like, I don't know. What am I trying to say? Like, use AI and things like that, right? Whether you're in the bank, whether you're in the store, like you almost don't have a choice. So yeah, they're trying to figure out every day how to minimize losing a lot of money. Ricardo, he says she forgot about that African braid shop boycott. He says in August. Then she see we had those. What? Now come on, you better stop. Yeah, and I'm familiar too about the boycott, the African boycott, but I stopped going there a long time ago simply for a personal choice. Because like I said, I like hair in my scalp. Hey, Beverly White, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. You can't handle the truth. Says, no, we spending the most money. Yeah. Again, we don't want to hear that either. I don't know. I just give it to you like I hear it. George, how you doing? Says from Huntsville, Alabama. Yes, indeed. And Heather, how you doing? Says maybe Blacks stuck to it, but everyone else folded. I didn't know. Like I said, I wasn't out there in the mall. I was out and about, but I wasn't shopping or anything like that. So I can't say who exactly was in there, but I will say admittedly when I drove by, my gym is right next door to a Target. So I went Thanksgiving morning, right? Because they were going to close early. And so I think it was about 7 o'clock or so that I left the gym, give or take. And I looked down the way and the parking lot to Target was packed. So I don't know. Somebody was shopping. And then Walmart was, on the way home as well. And it looked like it was, busting at the seams. So I don't know who. And those, I will say the area by my gym is predominantly Black. So I don't know who was in there, though. So don't get me to lying. JJ says the most effective boycott will be FBA starting spending on FBA businesses and FBA businesses offering excellent services and products. That part and all of that. Okay. Fair use, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. DSB, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Love and appreciate you for that. That is amazing. Thank you. Brother Frank, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Says we shouldn't be buying all this BS for the holidays. That's our wealth, but I'm not feeling this boycott. It's BS. Yeah, especially for why they want to do it. And somebody, and forgive me, Jessica, was it you that says how do we know like what to do and I guess if it's working and things, a website? Yeah, there's plenty of websites. I think you could just go to Google and put in like Black Friday boycott, and it's a copious amount of websites. The People Power, or something like that. They have a website. But you're right. Was there a plan? I mean, I know it's easy to say, don't go to Target, Walmart, or Amazon, but like, okay, then where do I go? Right, Donovan? Because it's kind of unrealistic for you to say, or they have all these sales. I might need some stuff that they have on sale, right? Like I tell you all the time, I need a new pair of tennis shoes. They might have a pair of tennis shoes on sale. And it's like, okay, well, so if I don't go to these places, tell me where I can go, right? So you're not redirecting the need or even the want to spend money away from these people you're trying to send a message to. So yeah, it's just kind of flawed a little bit. Let's see. Repentant Judah, how you doing? African Native, what's going on with you? Uno, what's going on? He says that's a slap in the face to blacks. Target offering trinkets to blacks like cheese to rats. Well, I don't think they're necessarily offered to blacks, but y'all come on now. Y'all know we gonna show up where it's free, and everybody's gonna show up where it's free. So it wasn't just us, but you know, the Target boycott, how much of that really had anything specifically to do, especially the Black Americans? How much did that have to do with us? You know what I mean? Because us boycotting Target so they'll get DEI back is going to help white women. And I don't understand why that keeps going over people's heads. It's just beyond me. I don't know. And John Donovan, jump in whenever. I know, you know. Facts not feelings. How you doing? Says peace of love. Family says no blacks will not do an economic boycott. We are way too busy trying to integrate. Yep. See, it's a lot going on. And that's what I want to spend some time doing in the very near future, really just kind of talking about different ways to undo that, to unlearn those things. And because we just have to do it, right? Like I said, and I think it was Jessica who said, how do we go about really accomplishing this? First of all, we got to understand why we do it and how not to do it. We're not there. It's easy to say, well, don't go. All right. Then what? You know? So yeah, Raven, how you doing? Says the cheap help. Okay. Brother Todd, how you doing? Says boycotts without goals. There you go. I should have read your comment. Boycotts without goals are just boycotts, and ultimately they feel disappointment on the road to achievement. A successful boycott, you must have discipline, but be more importantly consistent. See, because without commitment, you'll never start, but without consistency, you'll never finish. Yeah, so you got to have the how, the why, the what, the when, all of that. But you just say, Donovan, don't go in there. We boycotting. You might be, yeah, right? Because that's a temporary, yeah, the endorphins are kicking ass. Yeah, we're not going to go in there. But then it's like, they do got a TV on sale. Okay. Donovan, remember that? I think it was in LA. It was a couple years ago where it's an Asian liquor store or something, and they beat up some dude or whatever the case is. And they, you know, the brothers and sisters, they usually, you know, I'm in contact with them. But they was telling people, don't go in there. Don't go in there. They did this, they did that. What did that lady say? I'm just going in there real quick.
I remember that. I'm just going in there real quick. I got to grab something real quick.
Right. I'm not going to be in there long, but it's like you going in there, you still going to go in there and spend some money. So a lot of people have that mentality. I'm just going to do it real quick. Oh, I ain't going to tell nobody I bought this TV. Yeah, child. F Black Friday. And then you got somebody mounting your TV up in the living room, you know? So, yeah. Heather says excitement over the swag bag is a testament to how poverty-stricken people are. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I'm not guilting anybody for doing that. I mean, like, what are the alternatives? Like Brother Todd said, like, what are the alternatives? How do we go about really making this stick? You know, because I have an extensive sales and background in sales. And one thing I learned is you got to find a why for them. And you got to usually tie that to emotions. You know, they come in for a car. You say, okay, I have a car. It has 4 wheels and a steering wheel and 4 seats. Yeah, but now if they're coming for a car, what kind of car are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for something nice. You know, me and the wife, we could go about the town. Oh, yeah. Would you like something with the roof down so you can look at the stars and have a nice breeze as you're driving by and moonlight hits your wife just so? Yeah, you got something like that. You know what I mean? So you got to find a person's why, something that they're really passionate about so they'll stick to it. That's part of it, right? Let's see, Renz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Go ahead, Donovan.
That's a good example. How many of you guys remember the Cybertruck? When the Cybertruck came out, 2 million orders, advanced orders. I think only 40,000 people actually ever bought one. Because when they saw the bells and the whistles that weren't there, people were just like, it just isn't there, you know, what they wanted. So that's a good example of, having why a person should buy this. 2 million pre-orders. Most of them canceled it when they saw the actual product.
Exactly. So you got to tie everybody's why is not the same, right? Especially for this boycott. Somebody's why it might be because, I'm one of those Black women that lost my job. Somebody else's why might be because, I don't know, their loved one got roped up in the immigration sweep, or, I just don't like whatever. So the whys are different, but you got to find a common goal for people boycotting. And the common goal really is we want the government and, the oligarchy or whatever to acquiesce to our demands, right? But right now, we are fueling what they call the machine. We are fueling the machine, and the machine is not giving us anything back. The machine is like, F you, but we also have to realize we are the oil to the machine. We being our money, us going into the stores, whatever, we fuel the machines. There will be no Jeff Bezos, no Elon Musk, or any of them, Mark Zuckerberg, any of them, if it wasn't for the people fueling the machine. See, but when we don't realize that, then there's no understanding of why we even need to do it, and like what difference is it going to make, right? They just said I have friends who are Black conservatives and independents. Their views are certainly different on why they were shopping on Black Friday, and then I understood why Black Democrat friends didn't shop. So, like you said, I should have read your comment. Honestly. And let's see. Frank says y'all in this comment section love Trump. Shane, but if they did love Trump, Frank, what difference does it make if they love Trump? See, and Frank, me and you been like that. Me, you and Donovan been like that. You know, on this show for way back in the gap, right? So Frank is a oldie but goodie here. But I think we got to just get out of our emotions in regards to what other people like or love and things like that. If you love Trump, it doesn't do me any good or bad or anything like that, because people have the right to love or vote for who they want to vote for. But as I said, I think it would behoove everybody just to be independent, whatever it is, and keep it real with you. Trump don't give a damn about none of this, okay? Trump ain't even damn near running the country at all. Trump is at Mar-a-Lago and out of the country, getting money in airplanes and all kind of stuff, right? He, in a sense, he's just letting his minions run rogue all over Washington. He's not even... Go ahead. Yeah, you kind of... Maybe try to go out and come back in.
All right, but yeah, Trump is setting up deals for when he leaves.
So you're saying he's setting up deals when he leave office? Yeah, I think so too, and I also think he probably trying to figure out, okay, when it's all said and done, I need to be getting on out of here. You know what I mean? Because you heard Steve Bannon say, "Hey, if we don't ram these laws and stuff through, that we could be going to jail." Right? So yeah, hopefully Donovan can. I don't know why it's doing that. It's really weird. Fairly says, I actually read that it was part of the white criminal gateway plan to commit a crime, make it to the first Black person house for the first Black scapegoat they could find. When was this? What is this we talking about? Hey, Brother Damon, hope you're doing well. What is going on with you?
I figured out. I think I figured out why I'm glitching. The software is uploading something behind the system, because when I went out, something's uploading.
Oh, so it's okay. That's what it is. Okay, no worries. We can hear you now, though. Emin, how you doing? Says I'm giving those people a 50% discount on financial literacy program. All right, well, we can all use that, right? All right, so let's see who else is in the building. Skipping on down, Geechee Dan Beaver, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. I really love that name too. Jim's iView, how you doing? Says many of us don't believe DEI was helping us in the first place. I don't shop at Target anyway. Yeah, it wasn't helping us with Black people. Black Americans especially was not helping us. It was not for us, right? But they put our face on it, kind of, sort of, and make everybody think that we are the face of DEI, but we're not. Uno, thank you so much for that. Love and appreciate you. He says, Black people, you see what's going on. It's time that we really put action behind the talk, come together and move like a unit. We need our own infrastructure, promote and support our own. There you go. But again, that's something we've been told to do for so long, but for whatever reason, we're waiting for that magical something, to come down and say, okay, here it is. But even especially during elections, people say, we need a plan. We need a Black plan. We need a blueprint. It's like we got 99 of them. Like, what one is the problem is, or the question is, which one will you follow? Which blueprint or Black plan will you follow? They all are kind of the same. Honestly, they're all the same. They pretty much, the premise of them all is do for self. Don't spend your money outside of your community. Build businesses, schools, and it's the same. They're all the same. Now, yes, there's some asks of the government because that bill is due, regarding reparations, but all of the plans are the same. But I don't know, we're looking for this magical thing, you know. It's like all these people run around that's saying they're leaders and things like that. I don't know. And nobody's got a plan in 2025. Like, I'm confused, you know. So it's not that not you per se. It's not that people don't believe there's a plan. They just don't want to follow one unless, I don't know. I always say maybe a white person need to come up with it, and then we'll say, that's the one. That's the one we need. So yeah, I totally agree with you though. Thank you. Sister Shirley, thank you. Love and appreciate you. Said, Dimitri, you know, as well as I do, a lot of Black people suffer from low self-esteem. They measure their worth with what they have. Yeah, that's that identity, right? I'm nothing without this Louis or the Gucci, you know?
Or without my wig.
You better stop. Hey, some people don't feel right without their wig. Like if I smash his hat off right now, y'all gonna...
No, we're just Steely. Give me my stocks.
See, Donovan know what's under this hat. He know what's under this hat, okay? I was gonna comb my hair today, but I was like, I don't have it in me. I didn't have it in me to do it. Oh, it's funny. Let's see. Cynthia says, Dimitri and Donovan, I was offering an extra $21 Amazon discount toward my son's 16-inch laptop. I ended up paying $404 for a 2025 laptop. My son gets good grades. Yeah, I mean, like, that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. What is best for you is best for you. It isn't best for everybody else. So for us to think that, oh yeah, we should all do something when our interests are different, like Dimitri said, we should all be independents.
Yeah, you know, but we don't want to do that either because we really feel like I got to be belonging to the Democrats or Republicans or whatever it is. It's like, no, you should be independent. That's why, especially with Black Americans, they don't work for our vote anymore because they already know they got it, you know? So if you're independent, nonpartisan or whatever, then they'll have to work for it because they don't know which way you're going to go. And that's the way it should be. My mama told me a long time ago. She said, especially, well, I won't tell you why she said, but she said it shouldn't be too predictable. Because when you're too predictable, then people know how to treat you, what you're going to do, what you're going to be. So you can't really be too predictable. I want you to earn my answer, right? Or my vote. So yeah. Wiz, how you doing? Says it's the self-appointed so-called Black leaders and preachers that are weak. No, they're not. They're not weak. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why they're not weak. They're not weak because they know how to manipulate the rest of us. Now they weak to that white envelope. Yeah, it's money, right? For the love of money, all of that. But they're not weak. It's us that's weak. Because, like I'm saying, how weak do you really have to be to sit up in a church that's not a net benefit to you or the community? And you sit up there Sunday after Sunday after Sunday and hell, the choir practice and everything, and then up in the church, and you don't see a net benefit from going to the church. That makes you weak, right? Or you vote for a party, and that party's not doing anything for you, and you keep voting for them. They're not weak. You're weak. They know you're weak, so they capitalize off of your weakness. Like I said, now they ain't even got to tell Black Americans nothing because they know we weak. And we going to show up for them. It might not be as much, but we're still going to show up for the Democrat Party overwhelmingly. They know that. You know, they'll talk about our issue every blue moon just to say, hey, Negroes, I haven't forgot about you. Now I'm going to go back to neglecting you.
Right. And what's our issues every election cycle? Crime, welfare, the same old BS that they stereotype us in. That's always our issue. Crime and housing, the Voting Rights Act. Everybody could come here in less than 5 years. They can vote if they become citizens. Why is it that people who've been here for over 400 years have to have a bill in order to guarantee that they can continue to vote? We're the only ones that have to go through that. Digress.
I mean, you make a hell of a point, right? And Tyrus, how you doing? Says the question is, did they really get any deals? I don't know. I wasn't out there. You know what I mean? I don't know what they got. Like I said, I'm gonna be out there getting me some tennis shoes. I like to save money more than anything. If I don't do nothing else, I like to save money. So I'm gonna be out there. I better get out there sooner or later for the sales are over. But yeah, I don't know if they got any deals or not. They probably didn't. We know that they jacked the prices up and then they drop them back to right where they are supposed to be, and you think you got a deal or whatever. So I don't know. People just like to spend money though, you know. Gotta remember, my daughter was actually having this conversation with me the other day. She says Black Friday used to be kind of like an event people look forward to, and she's right, especially before the online thing came about. You know, people would get together and we gonna meet up. I'm gonna come get you at 3 o'clock. I'm gonna bring the donuts and the coffee. We gonna stand in line and you know all that. And I had the unfortunate pleasure of working at Walmart in 1993. When they had layaway and all of that. And boy, I tell you, them people was like wild animals running through that door like they was crazy. I was low-key scared. I'm like, damn. But people plan to do that kind of stuff, right? They don't even have layaway. Well, I guess they got the buy now and get it, buy now, pay later type thing. So it's kind of like layaway. I don't know. Cloudness, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Real to real, how you doing? Since the 70s was Black unity, today is Black self. Ooh. Boy, I tell you what, yeah, we think we have Black unity. I think we're trying to have it now. There's just so much schism in our community to where we really don't know what we have, and it's sad, you know. But I was born in the 70s, but I heard a lot about the unity. Let's see. Marjorie said, Dimitri and Donovan, there's a boycott in Buffalo, New York. 5 Arabs were beating up a Black woman and was trying to lock her in the store. A brother stopped them from beating her. He started tearing yeah, I got to see that because that's crazy. But again, at what point do we stop going up in there? You know what I mean? Lady, how you doing? Says, I don't believe the numbers and people lie. I mean, I don't know. They might be lying. Mad Dog, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see who else is on here. George, how you doing? Says boycotts equal ineffective tantrums. Wow. Uno says they put our face on everything negative. Yep. And unfortunately, a lot of us, we buy into it. Carmen, how you doing? Long time. Let's see. Hope you're having a fabulous day. George, you also say the only action Black folks need to take is stop whining about the system and work on our individual traumas, communities, and be accountable. Yeah, that's a great start. We definitely have some traumas and things we need to work on. But see, that's part of it as well, you know, and Brother Todd kind of alluded to that. Like, we have to know the why. We have to have strategies. And part of that strategy is you got to understand trends and history and things like that. Because if you don't understand that, then you don't know how to go about fixing things. So again, just to say we just about to be out there boycotting, a lot of people don't even know what that means. Boycott is a sacrifice, actually. It means it's going to cost you something that's not supposed to feel good or comfortable. It means that I'm going to abstain from going to buy this. Is something I would have bought, but I'm trying to send a message. So people don't want to be uncomfortable, though. Juggernaut, how you doing? Says they're using our faces on negative AI stereotypical videos on TikTok. Yeah, I seen that. I don't even pay that no mind. You know, if them people want to get it, it's just the AI. In a sense, I saw somebody saying it's a good point. It's the new blackface, right? But I don't give credence to anything those people do or say. I don't let them get under my skin. And I, for the life of me, wonder why we allow them to get under our skin. They're just doing menstrual blackface, all kind of stuff. It's funny to them. That's how they get their kicks. But we don't have to join in on, well, stop talking about us and this, that, and the other. Because like I said, if they heard the stuff that we say about them, boy, they will shrivel up. So when you see them doing that, just like, wow, you know what we talk, how with the stuff we say about you, you really couldn't handle that, right? Pop, how you doing? Says, I knew I had to read your comment silently. Eminem, how you doing? Says the boycott wasn't about DEI, it was about illegal immigration mass as DEI protests some Black folks fall for anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't even honestly know what it's about because there's so many narratives out there, right? So that's why I said too, the why might be different for everybody. Who knows? You know, everybody's out there on their own mission, but somehow it wasn't successful. And that's probably why. Sagittarius Goddess, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Afro Native, he says, free thinker, then you won't suffer any political agenda. Yeah. You have to be a free thinker. They don't want you to be that. George says not this year, but last year, indigenous Black people churned our 1.7 trillion spending, and we didn't circulate it through our community with our skills and trades, people, business, etc. Yeah, we gave 97% of that away, and we do every year. Sherry, how you doing? Says exactly why I don't do no religious. Not neither does the Most High. God never told anybody to be religious, but somehow man took it upon himself to be religious. Cloudland says I don't do the bootlicking sellouts. Same. Tyrone says Miss K, keep on trucking. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna truck. I actually can't go to sleep just yet. I got some things to do. Lauren says conservatives must pray that the Navy pilot who served in 39 combat missions will be jailed because he said the military shouldn't allow orders that aren't legal. This is now our greatest hope.
Yeah, let me speak on that real quick. The military is mandated to not follow illegal orders. Now, what I may think is illegal versus what you may think is illegal are two different things. So you've got to discern what is what. And if you're willing to put your career on the line and you are found right, no problem. They reinstate you. Everything is good. A good example of that would be the movie Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. If you guys saw that movie, that was a prime example of following orders. Was Gene Hackman in that movie wrong for what he was doing? No, he wasn't. He was following exactly as he was trained to do. But in the same movie, Denzel Washington said, we need to know why. You can't launch missiles without my approval. Military people are mandated to not follow unlawful orders. Another good example of why that is, what did the Nazis say after World War II when they were sitting in Nuremberg? I was just following orders. So if it wasn't good enough for them, it's not good enough for anybody in the military.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation right there. I see Mark Kelly, he was speaking. He took Trump and all of them to task today, boy. I was like, yeah, this is it's gonna be very interesting because Pete Hegseth, he just doing whatever he wants. And Donovan, you military, I think you could probably attest to some of that, some of the stuff Pete had, because they said that they I guess they bombed the boat and there were some survivors hanging off of it, and then they, gave the order to bomb it again.
Okay. And that's probably true. We don't know the whole gist of it. But let's see. Have you guys heard of a thing called collateral damage? What's collateral damage in the military? That's inadvertently killing people and doing damage to things that you never intended to do it. Just because you do that, does that mean you're a war criminal? Does that mean that you're this and you're that? We don't know. Like I said, it's called collateral damage. Now, if what they're alleging happened, it's not something that I wouldn't do. It's something that you're not supposed to do. An unarmed person, an unarmed civilian, an unarmed combatant, you are not supposed to shoot down and do all this other stuff. But we know in the real world, this type of stuff happens. You guys got to remember, this is not a game. This is Call of Duty. This is not this is that. Mistakes are made all the time. And international law began. We're the United States of America. We haven't followed international law since the end of World War II. We are the law. This is why we can go to over to other countries and close down their space and nobody say a damn thing about it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm trying to get you guys to understand the way the real world is operating, and they do this in our name. So if you don't like how the military is running and what is happening, you better damn sure be who you vote for and who you put into office. Kamala Harris was pro-Israel, and look how close she came to being the president. I'm just saying, you got to really think about what you're doing.
Yeah, Trump is pro-Israel as well. They both were. Rex, Hutch, how you doing? He says, I have a question. What do you mean? Do we mean when we say we're not a monolith? And then the other thing says that basically shouldn't we be a monolith? Well, usually when they talk about Black Americans, especially being monoliths, it's to the negative, right? It's to go along to get along, right? So that's why we say we're not a monolith, because there are some of us who are actually independent thinkers. There's a lot of us who said, no, I'm not going to go along to get along. I'm not just about to be voting blue no matter who or whatever it is, or we shall overcome and all that. Some of us are like, nah, there's other ways to be doing it. So that's why it's like nobody else is a monolith. Asians, right? You say Asians, well, it's actually not just Asians. There's Japanese, Filipino, Chinese, Vietnamese. So there's, they're not a monolith, although we'll say Asian.
Hawaiians.
Yeah, right. The East Indians or whatever it is, Latinos, well, the Hispanics, however you want to say it, depends. They come from all parts of the planet, so they're not a monolith either. So, but unfortunately, when people see Black people, and when I say Black, I mean all Black, right? From the continent, the Caribbean, here in America, they think we're a monolith, but we're actually not. We don't have the same experiences. And so then when you say, like we Blacks in America, not Black Americans per se, but Blacks in America, we all, for the most part, majority of us vote for Democrats. Now, some Black people in America, that might work for them, right? Especially if they're immigrants or whatever it is, they're from the Caribbean, the motherland or whatever. But Black Americans, that don't work for us. It has not been working for us. So in that sense, we shouldn't be a monolith. Because being when you say you're a monolith, that means that we're all benefiting from it or we're all suffering. Well, when you think about it in the monolithical way of thinking, we don't all benefit. Some people benefit and some people don't. And those some people usually are us as Black Americans. So,
yeah, a good example of a monolith, Demetra, would be like living in Japan. They're one people.
Yeah.
So the way that their mindset, everything is the same. They do everything the same. That's why when we were in Tokyo, you didn't, everybody's taking the train or the they didn't know they're one people. They have one mindset. But here in America, you have different mindsets running down. This is why we're fighting for all these resources. In Japan, they don't fight for resources. They're one people.
Yeah, but they got that common understanding, right? And they all, they seem like they're doing okay over there in Japan. You know what I mean? I didn't see nobody seem like they were having a terrible time. Only terrible time I had is with them folks over there. It's like they can't go nowhere and behave. You know what I mean? They think they run the damn world everywhere they go, but I almost said something. Fast Not Finland says, U.S. did not declare war on Venezuela, so it's a war crime. Yeah, and that's the argument is as to whether war crimes are going on. A lot of people are saying, and Mark Kelly, who I think probably can say those things. He's still enlisted. He's a senator and all that. I watched his whole press conference and he was like, nah, the hell no. There's a lot of things going on that should not be happening. Because, Trump called for him to be, and treason and all kind of stuff. And he should be court-martialed and brought up and all this other stuff. And he's like, I'm just basically saying that the generals of the military, whatever, they should not be following illegal commands. And some of this stuff don't seem like it's legal. Right. So he's saying, yeah, we should push back on this stuff.
Right. But unfortunately, got people in the military, just like you had the Nazis that are down with this BS. See, and that's the difference. And we need the civilian government, you people out there, to start taking the reins back. When you let the military budget go to $1 trillion and you guys haven't even said one word about it, but you're fighting a universal health care and the military budget's $1 trillion. Problem is, and what goes on in the military, the problem is you, the civilian authority. That's the problem. And as far as Mark Kelly, I just want to correct you, Demetra. He's a retired Navy captain, which is like but because he's an officer, he could be called back to duty. They can do that. Like me, I'm a major. I could be called back to be correctional, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, because I thought they were saying he was like one of the only ones that was still active, which is why they were talking about him, especially because there was a whole bunch of them that were retired military, but they said, I guess for some reason, he's still active to some degree. So that's why they called him out specifically. But yeah, he was like, no, they're just rogue. And somebody put it in the comments, so that's what I understand too. Listen, I was in the military, but not in the military. Yeah. Well, I understand, if they're trafficking drugs, you supposed to, that's a crime. So you're supposed to actually see what was going on. Is Trump talking about we can see the drugs from the boat? Really?
But let's talk about international law. What gives the United States the right to strike a boat in international waters? Nothing.
Well, Trump just declared the airspace over Venezuela closed. It's like, so who are you to do that? You know what I mean? So I think that's what a lot of people
That's my
are saying.
point right there. Exactly. We're running a roughshod because we're the big boys on the block. We're creating international law. When you're in international waters, there is no law. There is no law in international waters.
Yes, indeed. Hey, one who cares. Did I say hello to you? Not hello, and thank you for that. Renwood, how you doing? Lady Brownberg, what's going on? It says Prince, what's wrong with egg? Oh, so you're talking about somebody said something about some Prince and some egg rolls and tacos. I'm gonna stay out of that conversation. Clown says, I'm really glad that my family members are no longer the military anymore, so I don't have to worry about this clown shiznert. Yes, indeed. Mad Dog says black is black to them. Absolutely. That's that whole monolith thing, right? Herschel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Marjorie says, not all sheep are sheep, but rams. Okay. African Natives says Somalis have their mindset in America. Yeah, Somalis is like, listen, we just put our flag right here. And they got but see, I'm gonna say this. I'm not really well versed on the whole thing about Somalia and things like that. I know a little bit, but I will say this. There's a lot of hate. I don't know if it's deserved or not for the Somalians or whatever, but they're doing what we should be doing. They got their stuff wrapped tight, right? They vote for each other. They keep each other in office. They do for each other. So my thing is, yeah, they're doing that over here or whatever the case is, but why aren't we having that conversation about what we should be doing?
And what do you mean you don't know much about Somalia? Your girl, the brick lady, she's Somalian.
And she's in jail right now. Okay, the brick lady's in jail right now. But yeah, she's very shady, but they got their thing, well-oiled machine, right? Going on here. People are mad about that, but they're no different than anybody else that got their own communities or whatever it is. But I guess people they want them actually to go back, but there's some United States is complicit in a lot of destabilization of people's government, and that's true for Somalia as well. But people don't want to talk about that,
Yeah, absolutely. But this also goes back to the narrative we were talking about. Yeah. African. If you're a true Pan-Africanist, you don't have these individual communities that separate each other. We're supposed to be one big Pan-African, not Somali, not Black American, not this. It's supposed to be Afro, whatever, American city. Groups come here and they don't practice Pan-African. They talk Pan-Africanist, but they don't practice it. Black Americans are the only group of people that practice Pan-Africanism.
Mo, he says, should Trump just let drugs continue to flow into the country? Well, first of all, you got to find out if that's what they're doing. And it doesn't even sound like Venezuela even has drugs like that, from what I understand over there, And then, I listened to Mark Kelly. I don't know why he just keeps coming across my timelines, but he basically said, if you really think about it, these little boats, they'd have to fuel up, they said 20 times fuel up their boats, 20 times to make it from Venezuela to the United States. Where are they getting the fuel from to do all of that, right? So it's like all this has to make sense. But see, Trump is saying it, Pete is saying it. It's like, okay, but does any of this make any sense? And a lot of those boats that they're blowing up have just been fishermen boats. One of them was from Colombia or something like that. They're just fishing. So they're indiscriminately just blowing people up. But if trafficking drugs is a crime, you're supposed to bring them before courts and make sure that there's a process to that. You can't just say, well, we're playing war games now and battleship on little bitty fishing platoons. So he shouldn't allow it to happen. But hold on, what was the president that he just pardoned from? I can't remember which country it was. It was today or yesterday. And
Honduras. Honduras is having new elections and he pardoned it. But who is Trump to pardon a sovereign person of another country?
But hold up. What did he get the pardon for? Trafficking drugs into the United States. So on one hand, you pardoning the president of Honduras for trafficking drugs, right? Sounds like he got caught doing that. But then, you playing battleship in the middle of the ocean with little fishermen boats because they're allegedly trafficking. What are we doing here?
But see, here's my thing with the surprise everybody has Is this any different than what the white man has been doing for hundreds of years? The colonialism, isn't this the same tactics that they used for hundreds of years? For me, I'm not surprised. See, with the stuff that's going on, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's just more modern, it's more technologically advanced, and the people that are going along with these unlawful orders, if that is the case, most likely they're down with it because they have the same persuasion as the person making the calls.
I'll just read this comment. I blocked him. Let's see. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm just going down because I know we're out of time and Donovan has to get going. Child of God. How you doing? Says Trump just pardoned it. Yeah, I should have read your comment. The ex-president of Honduras was convicted of trafficking 500 tons of the coca into the U.S. He was partnered with El Chapo, partners rather with El Chapo. Trump pardoned him. So I'm saying, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? You, like I said, you're playing battleship in the middle of the ocean, but then yet you letting the dude who trafficked that kind of stuff, you pardoning him? So you really don't care about what's coming up in here.
Yeah. See, who's that said that? The Child of God 9124 says the problem is Black people don't know what's going on outside of the United States. And you know what? I agree with you 100%. A lot of Americans, Black Americans, do not know what the hell is going on outside of the United States because, you know, and maybe because they're so busy trying to struggle and survive here within the United States. But it's true. A lot of us don't know what's going on. We do the same thing. I'm going traveling. Where are you traveling to? I'm going down to Montego Bay. I'm going to the Dominican Republic. We go to these places where there's other Black people, and and we think we've traveled. We don't know what's going on internationally. So I'm going to agree with that wholeheartedly. With that sentiment, ignorance is bliss within our community.
Hershey says Somalis are just like other Africans. They jump in and out of Black America when it's convenient and keep their community closed. Yeah, but that's what we're supposed to be doing. See, I'm not going to be mad at them. Right, because we were supposed to be doing that, but again, we're probably the most welcoming people on the planet, right? And it has its moments where it's needed, but we just let any and everybody in and do whatever they want, and then they run off on us, and then they, profit and they close up their communities or whatever the case is. Then we cry about it. We should be doing the same thing, But I'm not mad at the Somalis for coming over here and getting they stuff together. That's what we should be doing. So yeah, I don't know. The lady Leela, I don't know what you on at all. Nobody blocked you. I don't have the brain cells to even try to figure it out. Because Lord knows. Scoop, how you doing? So Donovan has the same name as my 19-year-old self. His is spelled the Donovan. Okay, with a J. Okay.
No, the J is silent.
Oh, like Django.
Yeah, kind of like that.
The Django. Most Negroes say Django.
Django. Dang-a-lang. Django. No, I don't know.
Ringo, how you doing? Says that's why Trump dropped the requirements to join ICE because he knew all the racist Proud Boys were joining. Yeah, and that's the speculation that they're the ones that's actually up in there. It jives, Elegant Bird, how you doing? Says Prince blocking people he disagrees with. Pop, are you blocking people? I don't even see Pop. Oh yeah, Pop. Yeah, I didn't even see any of those comments. So yeah, let's try not to block people unless they actually deserve it. So anyway, Donovan, I'm gonna give you the last word because I know you got to get out of here. What you got going on, brother?
Well, the last word is this. You guys, thank you guys again for having this discussion with us. Again, sorry about the glitch. Demetra, StreamYard was uploading something in the back. I still see it. I think it's finished now uploading. So that was the glitch where that. So again, apologies to you guys for that. But we don't just talk it. We also walk it on this page. I'm going to my city council to where a developer who agreed to do a certain thing about 10 years ago, he is trying to do a snafu and get it redesigned. The white envelopes have been, they're going to vote on it. He's basically trying to get the taxpayer to pay for his infrastructure for his project. And a lot of people aren't going to show up. A lot of people don't care. They think, oh, It's great. We're going to have all these jobs. Not the case. What these developers do is they'll go in there and they seem like they're for the people. Oh, we're going to bring jobs. We're going to do this. I'm going to give that. I'm going to build a technology center. I'm going to do all these great things. And then after about a year, they silently go back to the council and they renegotiate the contract so that they can, get what they can get out of it. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is you could know all about national politics all you want. National politics does not affect you directly, more so than your community politics, your city council, your planning commission, whatever. If you do not know what is being built in your city, if you can't name your city council members, why the hell are you in that community? Because obviously you're disengaged. And when they do put that warehouse right across the street from your house, or they put that weed shop or that gas station next to your house that brings your property values down, you want to yell and scream and holler. So tonight I'm going to go to the council. Again, somebody told me about it and said, hey, Donovan, you got to be there. You got to speak on it. And I'm going to speak on it. We're going to record it. And if you guys get a chance, we'll put it up. And again, it's not about high profiling. It's about standing up and getting it on the public record to do what you got to do. I know you guys are busy. But do you guys know with technology, you could take your phone, go to your city app and email your alderman or your representative or your councilwoman, whoever it is, and also put the city clerk in there. It's public record and it goes into the public record if you're for a project or you're against it. You can watch it on public access TV, however you got to do it. You don't have to be there physically. But I implore you as Black people, as we go through the Great Reset, we start paying attention to what really matters. We can holler and scream and talk on and have conversations on this platform all day long. It means nothing if we are not there when the vote goes down for that project that's going to be in your community. It means nothing.
There you have it, Pop. Thank you so much for becoming a member. He says she has multiple names in this chat bothering me. I would that y'all would get along. I really do. Please get along. Can we just get along, Black people? Can we get along? Let me take this last comment. Hershey, you say, well, I'm mad. How is Ilhan Omar part of the CBC when Somalis don't even identify as Black? Because she was voted in there. And again, the CBC, California Congressional Black Caucus, they're the only ones that are co-opted by everybody but Black people, right? They're the only ones that have a mission statement that they're helping Black Americans or something like that and other marginalized groups of people. And we've allowed it, right? So Ilhan Omar, she's in this collection of Blacks, right? That's that monolith, right? Because the CBC, you're thinking it's a monolith, but we're learning that is not. But so that she's there, she's representing the Somalis. She's doing what they elected her to do. Right. So, I mean, I know a lot of people have a lot of vitriol. I'm not a fan of Ilhan Omar. I don't hate her or anything like that. Like I see her for what it is. She's doing what her people elected her to do. And that's go to Washington, bring home the bacon, represent them, make sure that they're heard. That's her job. And not only that they're heard, that she's actually taking action. And so the problem with us is our politicians don't do that for us. So why are we mad at Ilhan? She's doing what she's elected to do. Right? So I don't know. I get it. It's easy to make her the bad guy. But they got a well-oiled machine. And I hate to say it. I don't know. Well, maybe I won't go this far, but I'm kind of, sort of. It's a black eye for Black Americans because we know, well, kind of, sort of. It's like it's a pink eye. I don't know. We know that they come over and they get certain benefits and things like that. But the other thing is we participate in helping them get everything they need. And then when we find out that they done organized and got everything they need, then we mad. But it's like, that's that whole reactive thing. We should be proactive, like Donovan just said. Like if you don't even go to your city council to show up and figure out what's going on and all of that, then we can't cry about it later. The Somalians are not going anywhere. They're here, right? So we need to focus on is how do we get the Black American community like their community. See, we run around saying, they not like us. They not like us. Well, a lot of those groups are like, well, y'all not like us. I bet you they got a Somalian store. They probably got Somalian doctors. They probably got Somalian everything you could think of. The Somalian hair grease, probably, right? What do we have?
Yep, and Trump has revoked their status. The ones that have been coming over here under the Biden administration revoked their status. And a lot of those Somalis are mad and crying. I don't know if you guys saw the video of the Somali guy that's back in Somalia, and he's crying because his passport was taken from him. He can't get back into America, and he's crying.
Yeah, and Richard Skywalker, how you doing? Says, sad we in our own land talking like this. Yeah, because all we do is talk. Now, I know some people going to get mad, but that's all we do is talk. Like, I see people so mad at Ilhan and the Somalians and all these other groups. Like, for what? What we mad at them for? The problem with us is we focus on what everybody else is doing. What happens if we just took 50% of that energy and focused on what we're supposed to be doing? I guarantee you, yeah, the Somalis probably talk crap about us, but I guarantee it's not the most of what they spend time around the campfire. Oh, Black Americans, they building. That's what we're supposed to be doing, building. But we're not building. We yipping our yappers about what everybody else is doing. It's nauseating, really. So we can talk about Ilhan, but then do we have one Black American community? I don't know everything, right? I ain't been everywhere. Okay, I don't get around like that. But do we got any Black American community here in America that operates like the Somalians do? Or even like the Nigerians? I'm talking about here in America. Do we have a Black American community that operates like they do? If we don't, then that's where the conversation could be. I could give a damn about what Ilhan is doing or what, the Somalians and not that I don't give a damn about them per se, but I don't give a damn about what they're doing while Black Americans are at the bottom of the totem pole, and we're going to continue to go vote for more of nothing and more for everybody else to get something, everything that they want. And then we're going to sit up, they just, shut up. That's how I feel sometimes. Shut up. If we're not talking about building, we're not talking about getting the Black American community where it used to be, then shut up. Because it's just noise. Like sometimes we got to tune people out when they just, and look at them, and look at them, and look at them. No, look at us. Look at us. Like we really don't have, we shouldn't feel like we should just sit up and talk about people when our stuff is in shambles. And I like this picture because they weren't in shambles. You know why? Because they wasn't running around talking about everybody else. Madam C.J. Walker said, shut your mouth if you ain't talking about peddling this goddamn hair grease. I don't care about what they doing over there because she says, I'm tired of washing white people drawers. I'm tired of doing that. So if you up here, then go over there with them because we build it. See, that's what we need to be. I'm not going to be mad at Ilhan. She did what she's supposed to do. Y'all think Ilhan's supposed to come over here and her people and just be nothing? Right? They came over here and they made something. I know they got a little bit more help than we have, but we helped them get there and then we cry that they're there. It's silly. So at some point in time, we got to stop all that talking. Like we're honestly, and now y'all gonna get mad at me, but Black Americans, we just become glorified gossipers.
Yep.
We just gossip.
Yep. Are you guys aware that when we talk about the Voting Rights Act, do you guys know that the rest of the people in the African diaspora, they're not affected by that? They can vote. Only the native ADOS FBA blacks does that affect, which is why the delineation movement is so important now. And notice that these other African diaspora cousins and brothers and sisters that we have, they're fighting the delineation movement. Have you guys ever asked yourself, why are they so against us delineating ourselves from them? Because if we delineate from them, they can't get the benefits that our forefathers fought for themselves, because it's something that's totally different, that's specific for us. That's the 13th Amendment and all these other things. This is why they fight so hard against us delineating ourselves. But notice in reverse, like Demetra just said, they delineate themselves once they get here and form their own communities. You got to look at it for what it is. And again, these people don't just appear. Ilhan Omar, I believe she was a council member locally before she became a representative, which goes to show you, if you do not know your city council These people got to start somewhere. They started the school boards, the city council meetings. You've got to start vetting these people before they get up there and really sell us the hell out. So just something to think about, you guys. Something to think about.
Absolutely. African Native, thank you so much for the super sticker. Love and appreciate you. That's a hell of a donation. And Bakari, how you doing? Bogani, what's going on with you? So yeah, I don't know. At some point in time, like I said, we just have to stop and say what is it that we can do. Yeah, 100% right, Donovan. Us waking up is a detriment to everybody else. I'm actually going to do a talking point about that. That's a good title for me. Thank you. I wrote that down. Us waking up is a disaster for everybody else, right? Because when we're asleep, they come on in and get everything they get, like you said, and once they get it, they cut the rope. Thank you, Negroes. See you later. Oh, y'all built a nice store here in the neighborhood. Y'all hiring? No, we're not hiring. They got all their people up in there, but you done helped them get over here. So it's like, again, who really should you be mad at? Should you be more mad at them because they took the help that you keep giving? Because I'm both blue no matter who, and you mad at them because they took advantage of the people you put in office, and those people like, here, we're here to help the immigrants and, Black Americans. We're just going to continue benign neglect of them because they're just going to vote anyway. But guess what? We're going to get you everything you want. So when we wake up, then they stop getting the getting. So I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
Delineation is so important. As a matter of fact, here in California, and I believe New York, on the census, they are now delineating have you guys ever seen like an application or whatever where they say, are you Latino? Are you Mexican Latino? Are you this Latino? You know what I mean? They have that for within the Latin culture. Have you ever asked yourself, well, what does it matter? It matters to who gets what. That's why they're delineating. And guess what? When you're on that government form and you put in, let's say you're Nigerian and you put in you're a Black American, FBA, and they find that out, that's a federal crime because you've just now lied on a federal application for benefits or whatever. This is what Trump, and I know a lot of you guys probably don't like Trump, but there's some good things he's doing and there's a lot of bad things he's doing. But the point is, this is what he's saying. Do you guys realize Donald Trump is the only president that actually said out of his mouth the 13th Amendment was for Black American chattel slavery Americans here? He's the only one that's ever said it out loud while in office. So delineation is very important for us as a people because these people come over here under the black guise because we got the same skin, whatever, and they take all the resources that are supposed to be for us. And then what do? They open up their shops. They do this, they do that. And who is the people that patronize all of their businesses? We do it because we don't have our own. So now Donald Trump wants to put a stop to that. And this is one of the good things I would say. You got to give him his due you got to give the devil his due when it's due. And I'll give him that. I mean, he's trying to show Black people, wake up, because this is for you and you're letting other people come in and take it from you.
And to that, yeah. Another thing is, you're right, live, laugh, love, absolutely. The other thing too is when you got your stuff going together, your household is intact and everything is working the way it should, you don't have time to focus on what everybody else is doing because you're glad that your stuff is airtight, right? Our stuff as Black Americans are not airtight. So we focus on everybody else's stuff that's airtight, in a sense, we have been conditioned to be jealous. I'm not saying that we are, and I want to be careful how I say that, but it's kind of turned out that we become jealous because of everybody else come over and they get the things that we want. But there's just some things that if we just stop doing and start doing, then those things wouldn't be the way they are. We would be top priority, but we have learned, I've been taught actually not to be the top priority. We've been taught to make everybody else a top priority, and we just got to have an awakening from that. Scoop, thank you so much for that. Love it, appreciate you. Says, we are strong people. We seem to forget that we don't have to accept that nonsense. Yeah, we got to refocus. So anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I'll be back here tomorrow. Donovan's more than welcome. I know he's a busy man nowadays. It comes anytime he wants. So I'll see y'all tomorrow and then 11 a.m. on the African Diaspora News Channel. Please join me there for a great conversation. And Slap Joy says none of these other groups is airtight. They're all artificially elevated. That's a lie. If that wasn't the case, we wouldn't be talking about Ilhan Omar and the Somalians. Okay, they basically telling Trump to kiss their behinds, right? So yeah, we can talk about that another time. But anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Peace.